Hello world! As many of you know, I am Chris Pirillo, and I like action figures. Mostly the Star Wars stuff, or really anything produced in the Star Wars universe that is plastic. But every so often I see action figures that I want to collect. I'm a huge fan of the classic 3.75 inch scale, or 3 3/4 inch scale. And I couldn't tell you why, apart from that was one of the first action figures that I ever fell in love with, the AT-AT driver from The Empire Strikes Back. So I featured a few of these a while ago before I spun up Pirillo picks again, but I thought I would showcase some of the non-Star Wars figures that I have, specifically in the 3.75 inch variety, if I can get it to stand perfect. Wow! That is one Predator. This is part of the ReAction line made by Funko in conjunction with Super 7. And they just announced the full-color He-Man ReAction figures that I might get because they're full color. I have the Power of Grayscale figures, but I'm not sure I'm going to get them. This is a Predator I've not yet opened, and I'm going to open right now because there are many Predators. In fact, there are 2 other Predators that I don't have. They were exclusives, and I'm like, I'm not sure if I wanted to get it. So I see these at retail for about, how much? About, sorry, it's going in and out of focus because I didn't put the Predator in the middle. Let's try standing the Predator in the middle. There we go. Well, that, I should just learn not to touch things when I set them down. This is the Invisible Predator. There are a couple of others. You could get them normally for like $10, but I usually wait for the ReAction figures for them to go on sale. So I picked these up, many of them on half off, and I think the initial haul was vlogged. I got away from my desk and went outside, and there was a toy store that was closing, and I ended up getting most, if not all of these, at half off. You can get them online, most, if not all of them, for a pretty steep discount. Okay, you know what? I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this one to stand. The quality... oh, okay, there we go. He's not really that... He's translucent. This is so cool. I'm going to dim the brightness here. There, does that help? Doesn't that look cool? Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna try to get it to focus away from my face and on the action figure. Kind of cheating it there. Let's try it this way. There we go. That's so nice. That's so cool. I wasn't necessarily a huge fan of the movie. I liked the movie, the first Predator movie. I like the design of the alien, and many of you know that I tend to prefer the action figures that are this scale, for one, and specifically aliens, robots, monsters, creatures. Speaking of, they've also got the Fifth Element ReAction figures. Many of them I'm not interested in. Human likenesses, not very interested in. The way they designed them were the way that action figures used to be designed, even classic Star Wars figures. They don't look realistic. Like, if you looked at Han Solo, a classic Kenner Han Solo, he did not look like Harrison Ford at all. At all. So a lot of these figures and human likenesses, that does not look like Bruce Willis. At all. And that was intentional. Another reason why I happen to like monsters. The only one that I wanted in this series, they have not produced, and I don't know if they are going to produce. Even though they have, I may get Diva Plava Laguna, but I ended up going with a Mangalore. Though I did really want Mondashawan, and there's been only, that I know of, one statuette. That would be the creature at the beginning of the movie, and if you've not seen the movie, you need to. It's one of the best sci-fi movies of all time. His limbs are really loose right out of the package. See, the quality of this is not worth $10. This is not worth close to $10. It's worth $3 to $5, which is, I think, what I got it for. I love the sculpts, but the quality of the figures is not great at all, and I'll be getting to that in a second. Just another illustration that they just did not do a fantastic job. Fun, high. I would say high action value. This one even comes with a weapon. Sorry, a gun that hopefully will not explode. Like in the movie. I got to be careful. There's a small part that came with one of these action figures. I wanted the Mondashawan just because I like the design of it. That's the one that said, "Time not important, only life important." That's my best Mondashawan impression. Sorry if the Mangalore is out of focus. I'm trying to balance this as best I can. I wish I could do two camera shoots here, but it doesn't work that way. There we go. That's a little nicer. Okay, so you've seen the Mondashawan, the little weapon here. I never really get excited about the weapons. That's not my thing. Weapons have never been my thing. No, speaking of quality, I ended up getting the Terminator, and his legs have fallen off. He's really, really loose. It's just like this is a $2 to $3. Okay, he's not going to stand. He doesn't stand. This is worth $2 to $3. I'm sorry, Super 7 and Funko. I'm going to say it. I'm going to have to be honest with you. It's not great quality. These things usually sit on store shelves unless you're a fan of figures or specifically the movies. In fact, I would say by and large, there's some play value here, but they look just as nice inside the package and are probably best kept inside the package rather than removed. Of course, you know me. I sometimes like opening things. It's just so frail and so skinny, and this was a waste of $2 to $3, however much I spent on it, sadly. The other one's not so much, including Alien. Now, I do not like Alien. It's too scary for me. This is definitely where I part ways with a lot of the people, a lot of fans of sci-fi. I'm not a fan of horror, and it's right there on the cusp. But the detail on this Alien figure is astounding. This is a beautiful action figure. I love the scale. I love the sculpt. It balances well. Seemingly of higher quality, almost than the other line or the other lines that I've seen or the other figures that I've tried in this particular series of collectibles. But I was a fan of the sculpt, and it was an Alien, even though I do not like any of the Alien movies. And I've seen them. I kind of have to, right? I gotta see them, but they border too much on not just suspense and thriller. It's just scary. I don't like being scared. I'm not a fan of being scared at all. But I ended up getting this one, and I think that out of all the reaction figures, this is absolutely one of my favorites. They also have Gremlins, and I remember when Gremlins was released. And you'll notice a lot of these. I don't know if I can get him to stand unless I give him the chainsaw that he comes with, Stripe. I remember when PG-13 wasn't a rating for the movies, and the Gremlins came along, and then PG-13 became a thing. Well, Stripe, I can get him to show there, at least the top of him with his chainsaw. He's an enemy. He's an alien. I did not get Gizmo. I could get Gizmo, but I'm going to wait for him to go on sale, or at least wait a little while longer. I don't need a Gizmo. I needed a Stripe. Because I have all these bad guys, right? A Mangalore and a Predator and an Alien. So I needed to complete a Terminator, the bad Terminator. And then I also got, because I like the design of this particular creature, even though I'm, again, not a fan of horror. And this is the one that came with a knife that fell. It's a very small piece. I got to be very careful, especially with Jedi. This is the reason she's always supervised. But I always liked the mask, the Scream mask, the design. I just like the design of the creature. And I would say this would have played quite nicely in my imagination when I was substantially younger, which is one of the reasons why I like what Funko and Super 7 are generally doing with the ReAction line. Trust me, I can think of a few other aliens and creatures and robots that I would like to see in action figure form, but have not yet seen. By the way, I do also have another Predator, so that makes my total Predator action figure collection 3. Okay, this is usually where I knock everything down. Anyway, so I've got the 3. I've got the masked and the unmasked. Both of them are cool. I don't know. Okay. I'm going to stop Predatizing my action figures. So that is my current array of reaction figures that I ended up buying. Come on! I wasn't even near you! How did that happen? This cannot, create enough of a breeze to knock down an action figure. Give me a break! Yeah. Anyway. I cannot be the only fan of nostalgia in the 80s and action figures. I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe. Maybe I'm the only person who's bought these, though. That is a possibility. I see them everywhere. So, I'm now ready to move on to answer some geek questions, or tech questions asked by my community of patrons. After that, I'm going to be talking about today's geek news with the patrons, and I will be diving into that right now. If you want to hear the rest of TLDR, and that is about an hour long, head over to chrispirillo.com. Today's free podcast highlight was brought to you by all of my active patrons from ChrisPirillo.com. If you want access to the full TLDR episodes, both audio, video, past, present, and future, which can be up to an hour long or longer, with even more tech insight from me every weekday, plus other bonus content without ads, and support me at the same time, you can sign up to become one of my supernomies too. This is just a brief taste of what I'm producing for you daily. Again, get more through ChrisPirillo.com.